Hello everyone, this is Shannon from That's So Po, and today I'm here to do a review of the short story collection What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky by Lesley, Nneka, Arimah, who's a Nigerian British-American author. This short story collection really blew me away. The stories are just so beautifully written and so powerful. They are also very dark, however. These stories are mainly literary fiction with a couple of speculative fiction ones thrown in, and each of them really takes a look at some very heavy topics. There are a lot of content warnings for this book, especially things like violence, child sexual abuse, and suicide, but even though there's a lot of heaviness to these stories, they were so engaging and so moving that I really loved all of the stories. I gave every single story 5 stars because they just moved me that much. So what I want to do in this review is talk about really what each of these stories is looking at, because I love the title of this collection, which is one of the stories in the collection. Really, so many of these stories are examining what it means. They're taking a look at what it means for so many different people in so many different circumstances. So I wanted to talk just briefly about what question each of these stories is looking at, and that way it'll avoid spoilers, but it'll give you a good feel of the topics and ideas and themes that each of these stories address. The first story is The Future Looks Good. This asks, what does it mean for daughters to be influenced by the history and the shortcomings and the problems of their parents? How does that sort of generationally affect them and their choices and their future? War Stories asks, what does it mean to be involved in a war and to hurt others? How is that something that affects who you are? How does that affect others around you? And what are the long-term consequences should you even be involved in a war? Wild asks, what does it mean to be wild, to be a child who rebels against their parents? What is it exactly that they're rebelling against? What does it do? What is the effect? What is the purpose of that rebellion? And is that different for different people? Light asks, what does it mean to allow your child's light to shine? What are the costs of allowing that kind of freedom, and what are the costs of restraining it? And who pays those costs? Is it the child or is it the parents? Second Chances asks, what does it mean to get a second chance to fix something that was wrong? And if you had the chance to fix that thing, would you? Or are you still the same person who made the mistake in the first place? Windfalls asks, what does it mean to get a windfall when you're really struggling? How would you use that windfall? What would you do in order to get it? And is it really a good thing? Who Will Greet You at Home asks, what does it mean to be a mother? What are the sacrifices that you would make for your daughter? How would you take care of your daughter? How would you prepare your daughter for the outside world? Buchi's Girls asks, what does it mean to take care of your children? When you have no resources, no options, what are the choices that are correct for them and for you? What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky asks, what does it mean to take on somebody else's grief? What does it mean to be someone who relieves others of their pain? And what does it cost you, especially in the long term? Glory asks, what does it mean to be someone who always makes the wrong decision? And if you had the chance to make the right one, could you? Should you? What is the Volcano asks, what does it mean to lose someone? And what would you do to regain them? How far would you go and how long would you try? And lastly, Redemption asks, what does it mean to be someone who keeps all of their hurt inside versus someone who expresses it? And how do we influence girls by allowing that expression or by suppressing it? The way that each of these stories looked at these questions about life, about relationships, especially about mothers and daughters, and also had a lot of themes about the way that women make their way in the world, especially Nigerian women and immigrants. I loved all of these questions and all of the themes that were explored in these stories. I really strongly recommend this collection. If anybody else has read this, or you have any comments or thoughts or anything else, go ahead and leave me a comment down below.